All right, hello guys. So I just want to top on this right quick before I drive off. Um, and this is this notion that the black community is a matriarchy. Okay, once again, the very people who want to blame the all of the ills of the black community, women and black single mothers, want to turn around and say, "Oh, well, the black community is a matriarchy." And I'm gonna get into the definition of a matriarchy. A matriarchy is a system or a government that is ruled by women. Right now, the government is not ruled by women. Just because you have a 77, and that's just in 2015. I don't know what it is in 2019. Just because you have a 77% out of wedlock birth rate, where most of the women have to be the head of the households because a lot of the fathers not only abandon their children, but they don't even sign the birth certificates when they're born. A lot of them don't even sign the birth certificates. Okay, so incarceration don't have that much to do with the out of wedlock birth rates. And I'm not saying, I'm not one to say everybody needs to get married, but here's my thing: you can't abandon your children or let the community fail. And this right now. I'm not about to hop on women right now. I'm not about to get on the women. I'm about to get on the men who are males who decided for over a decade to blame everything that went wrong with the black community on women, and then turn around and then say this is a matriarchy. This is the black community is not a matriarchy. Just because the males are not in the households does not make the black community a matriarchy, because the black women are not in control of any government. The black women are not in control of anything. What it is, they have a lot of them are depending on other patriarchs for their survival and their children's survival. A lot of them that's on government assistance ran by the white supremacists that these guys that complain so much about. They complain about black women, they complain about white supremacy, but the only reason a lot of their children survive is because of white supremacy. Okay. And so, when we go to jobs, even YouTube, ran by white people, right? YouTube, most of our paychecks come from white people, come from other patriarchs, right? So just because these guys walked out on their children and walked out on the baby's mothers, even if they're not going to marry the mother, at least be in the child's life, it's just obvious that the father is just not around, period. It's not even about being, even though, in this system, the way this system is set up, it'd be best for a lot of women to get married the way this system is set up. But of course, during the real matriarchy, okay, when black women black women were the first rulers. They were women rulers. They did rule. They were the rulers over their own government and own system. It wasn't necessary to get married then, because the marriage is something that has come about during this particular paradigm anyway. So the way this system is set up is not good to keep running for a whole bunch of women to have all these guys babies, and then the guys are not sticking around. That's not healthy in this particular system. It's only causing more problems. So and these women who keep having all these children by these guys don't even understand how a real matriarchy runs anyway. So it's best for them, with the knowledge that they have, or the lack of knowledge that they have, on even how a matriarchy runs. They need to seek stable families with the male if they're going to have their children, because even though women are said, but before this particular paradigm, before this cycle, women didn't have to get married. Those women who keep having children are not aware of how the cycles before. The women that keep having babies are not even aware of how that worked. Okay, so in this particular system, in this particular cycle, even though we're in a different cycle, it's taking time for a lot of this stuff to clear up, because we are in a different cycle, but we're still kind of under patriarchy, the patriarchal system still, even though we're in a different cycle, because a lot of things need to be cleaned out. And while we're still in this, under the patriarchal system, this is a lot of only things that a lot of women know. Okay, so no, it's not healthy. Even though some people say, well, you don't have to get married. Well, a lot of women who having babies by these This is all they know. And so they don't understand the old matriarchal systems. They don't understand how that goes because they don't have any examples in front of them for that. So I wouldn't suggest that a bunch of women keep having a bunch of babies with no stable families. I wouldn't suggest that. But getting back on what matriarchy is, yes, matriarchy is basically a government ran by women, a system ran by women. A bunch of women having a bunch of children with no fathers around and no fathers to really stick around to help raise a child, to help be an example for the child. And so you just leaving her hanging like that does not make that a matriarchy. It does not make that a matriarchy. And yes, I understand that a lot of black women, the black women, of course, in all of my videos, they're not blameless in this, but I've made several hundreds of videos talking about black women's part in all of this. And so this audio right here is reserved for a lot of these males that keep wanting to throw all of the weight on black women's shoulders. This is for them. This is not for this audio. This particular audio is not to get on the women right now, because I've already made audios talking about mothers and talking about how daughters are not responsible for their mother's problems. I made audio after audio going in and talking about mothers and just talking about women who support child molesters and women who support criminals and abusers. I mean, I made several audios talking about, definitely the black woman's part, but this is not that audio. Okay, and this is why I say, I don't try to appease these guys by always saying not all, and what else? You know how like one lady there was several of them make audios criticizing certain women who have interracial dating platforms, criticize them because they don't suggest black men in the dating pool to the audience. And I say, stop worrying about appeasing their egos. Stop worrying about who's including black men in the dating pool. Why do you care? You still have about 80% of black women who would not do anything else, who will not expand. Now some of them won't expand their options, but they're not going to date anybody else either. So you do have that group of black women who might not be dating non-black men, but they're not dating black men either. They just want to be single. They don't want to be bothered. You have that group too. But what else? But that's it. But that's why I don't worry about that. I don't always trying to find the good. Well, there's some good brothers out there. No. It's like, stop trying to find the good. It's not that you have to try, because I meet decent men, black men, all the time. But at this point, the community was for them. This is a patriarchy. The government, the men rule the governments. Okay, so the black community was for the black men, and I'm not going to massage anybody's ego. See, what I say about the black men as a collective is nothing personal. It's not personal. It's no personal bitterness I have towards any black man, to be honest with you. What I say is not personal. It's the fact that they are supposed to be the leaders of the community, and then you let it fail. A lot of them have run out to marry white women, especially after the civil rights. Between the civil rights in the early 2000s, this is about, like, I think the union between black men and white women went up over 90%. They left the community. It wasn't no welfare. Anytime a union between black men and white women go up over 90% between integration in the 2000s, in the early 2000s, it goes up, the rates, the union between black men and white women go up over 90%, or non-black women, they left the community. They left. This ain't no welfare, okay? So it's not just because of welfare and all of that stuff. Okay, they left. The community was for them, and they left. Okay, and so that's all I got to say. But no, if somebody gives me a house, I'm supposed to be in charge of this house, then I can't turn around and constantly blame other people who come inside the house. The reason, like if the house is ran down, I cannot turn around and blame everybody else for the reason why the house is run down if I am the owner of the house and the black community was for the man. So this is the reason why I'm not interested in massaging nobody's ego, including them, and saying, well, there's some good brothers out there. I'm not interested in saying that, because that's a given that all black men are not scumbags. That's just a given. We know that. I know all black men ain't scumbags. I know that. Okay, but when it comes to a real patriarchy, there is none for the black community, and then it's turned around and being blamed on 100% on black women. This is why I don't really give them a whole lot of attention. It's for that reason. Okay, and it's not to say that it's not black men I might see in the workplace or something like that I might not hold a conversation with. No, I'm not mean to black men when I see them. I don't have any personal issues with the black man. I really don't. It's the overall, it's the bigger picture that I'm looking at. Okay, looking at black women like they supposed to turn around and build up the black community after the leaders let it fall. The black women is supposed to get themselves together, because black women do need to work on themselves, but they do not need to work on themselves to build up the black community. That's just my opinion. Now, if some black women want to do that, that's fine, but as long as you're not going to hold these guys accountable, it's going to be ran into the dirt again. The community will never ever work. If black women get together trying to build up the community again, it will never work, because you have a group of males that blame everything on black women. You have a group of males that do not want to take responsibility. So black women will never by themselves build up the black community. They will never do it by themselves. It will never work. But they can try if they want to. They can try if they want to, because they want so badly not to try to pay a compliment to black males, as if, when some people are, unfortunately, the good guys have to go down with the bad guys, because there's not enough good ones. But no, I'm not into this. And the women who do that, try to go out their way to try to find all these compliments to take the pressure off of black men. They're not doing black men any favors, because they're not challenging black men. And the women like that are the reason why black men are subpar. Women like that are the reason why black men are subpar. You need to have somebody that's going to hold their feet to the fire, and either they're going to get with the program or just die out. That's it. But you have women so sensitive and so in love with the phallus that they want to find some kind of way to stroke this man's ego any way possible. But they are the problem. Okay, let the hold their feet to the fire, and either they rise or they die. That's it. Because you see video after video after video of black women holding other black women accountable, whether black women want to listen or not. You have video after video after video, and it's not just on YouTube, it's other places too, where black women are hopping on each other, sometimes unfairly hop on black. Sometimes they hop on black women because they don't want to say nothing to black men. I don't give that. I don't agree with that one. So some of these black women that hop on black women are kind of doing it unfairly, and they're doing it because they want to put all that pressure on black women to do what black men won't do. See, those kind of black women, I don't have nothing for them. So, but what I am saying is that you still do have black women that's, every time you look up, holding other black women accountable and talking about where black women need to work on and stuff like that. So no, but yeah. But not too many males holding males accountable, and that's their problem. I'm not going to sit here and keep talking about the good things in them, even though I do know there's some decent ones out there. I'm not going to keep trying to stroke nobody's ego and say that, because that's the reason why they're in the position they're in now. Too many stroking of their doggone egos. But anyway, I have to leave. I have to drive off. You guys let me know what you think, but I'm going to go back to the title, that this is not a matriarchy. The black community is not a matriarchy. Black women do not run governments. They don't run the system. Okay? A lot of them have to depend on, everybody have to depend on the system. Whether we're on welfare or not, everybody's depending on the system. And it's ran by what? Men. Especially in the United States, mostly white men. Okay? So this ain't no doggone matriarchy. But anyway, with that being said, I'll talk to